Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Adam.
I'm John. Welcome back, guys.
So let's get right into it.
Yeah.
John and I are sitting here talking about cars, and we're like, man, we do this every time we start
Yep.
chit chatting about cars before we start recording. He's like, man, you need to hit the button, dude.
Hit the button,
Uh,
man. Let's go. And I love it, man, because we always get on these tangents and we're talking about this car and that car and all that. And then we're like, dang, we should have
so it
recorded that.
so it started with uh, there's a launch that I was just at.
Yep.
There is a launch that I'm going to in March. And then there's an email that I just got. Well, we're sitting here. I haven't even told John yet.
Uh-oh. What do we got?
So, I'm sure you'll have an opinion. I kind of do, but it's all right. Um, so the launch that I was just at was the new Lotus SUV.
Well, what did you think of the electric SUV, Adam? Tell the truth, man.
So the truth is, I'm not much of an electric fan. Period. I think that they do have their place. Like if you had we can get into this, at some
Right.
point. But if it's not your if it's not your primary car and you're just using it for short runs, I
Yeah.
don't. I mean, great, right? But I'm into cars because I like the sound of them. I like the feel of the
Feeling.
engine. I
Yes.
like the sensation I get from driving a petrol car. Sorry.
Yeah.
It just
Same.
is. It is what it is.
Look, man, it's an experience, and that's what I enjoy about the car as well. And man, I've had the chance to buy a Tesla Model 3 that was full dined out, man. Body kit, wheels, everything. It looked the part. And got to talking to my wife about it, and she's like, "Oh, we're gonna give up the Maserati for that? No, we're not." And I'm,
No.
Why not? And she's like, "Oh, the sound, the this." She goes on and on, and I love that she loves cars too, though.
Yeah.
If she didn't, man, I don't know that we'd be sitting here. You know what I mean? So it's great, man. But
I mean, and you can say what you want about Maserati. I mean, the Maserati is a very interesting brand slash
yeah.
car, but they sound so good.
Somebody summed it up the other day. I don't remember where I saw it, but they basically said it's a great feeder car. I think it was Ed Bolian actually,
It
and he
might,
said
yeah. I think that's a good way to put it.
it's a great feeder car because if you like the sound, you're going to find a car that has the sound. If you like the feeling, the leather, the exotic touches and stuff like that, you're going to find probably a Ferrari that fits you.
Yeah.
And then if you like the performance, like the ones that are more on the edge, you're going to go for like a McLaren or something like that. So I feel like it's a really good feeder car for people, and this is my second one, so I guess I like them
The
pretty
thing I
much.
don't understand about Maserati in general, right, is the fact that new that car is like 100 grand.
Dude.
You wait
More.
like 3 years and it's like 30. But the
It's
the
the
crazy thing about it is it drops like a stone and then
Yeah,
it levels out.
yeah,
So if you can
and
get it when it levels out, you've got a great car, sounds
yeah.
good, looks exotic, right? Fits the mold.
So the thing that sucked was when I finally got a Maserati, because that was the car when I was in high school that I saw the first time I saw a Maserati. I'll never forget it. Like I saw it and I said, "Oh my god, I'm gonna own that Trident one day." Right? Like I just saw
Right.
it and was like, "That's an
Yep.
exotic, crazy
Yep.
car," and
It
it was a
is.
Maserati Grand Sport convertible. And he popped the hood and it's like V8, like just crazy thing. And
Mhm.
he was like, "Oh, the transmission's messing up," and it had just been in a wreck. And I was like, "I'll buy it cheap," and I'm trying to find a way to purchase this thing. And didn't happen, thank God.
Would you take payments?
Yeah, it didn't happen back then. And so fast forward, and when I was looking for my first, I guess, exotic car, I was actually looking for Maseratis and ended up in a Viper. And I thought that's the better route to go. It's going to be, a more cheaper to own, all that fun stuff, right? And then finally, I got to circle back around and get a Maserati, and I got a horribly taken care of one, man. It had been in the back of a barn. A cat had been living on it.
Oh,
There was
dude.
cat hair on it. Like there was mice had eaten up some of the wiring. It was a Gran Turismo, and it was gorgeous car. The color was called Blue Oceano. I'll pop a picture up. Gorgeous car, but it had these 22-inch Lexanis on it. And come to find out, it was at the dealership that I bought the Viper through. and he had it, and I remember asking him about it then. And so, come full circle, I ended up buying the car. Anyways, long story short, it's kind of one of those don't meet your heroes thing. It had the sticky buttons, it had the leather peeling, it had all the issues you can think of that are Maserati issues. It had,
And
and I fixed
you know how
all of
they
that.
fix those sticky buttons?
Literally Gugon. That's what I
No,
use.
they put Dodge parts in there.
Well, this one, the Gran Turismo didn't have any
I
Dodge
know,
parts.
but the new ones have Dodge parts in there to fix
Yeah.
all the sticky
Oh,
buttons.
that's how they fix it in the future, because I've got
That's how
the
they fix it in the
Quattroporte
future.
now that does
Yeah.
have the Dodge parts.
Feels
And I
real
keep
Dodge inside that sucker, doesn't it?
Hey, man,
Looks real Italian on the outside, looks real Dodge on the inside.
I don't mind it, man. I'll be honest, like, the interior and all that, you'll have to see the Gran Turismo. I'll bring it up one time when we come to Atlanta. It's a
I tell you,
good, or the Quattroporte, sorry.
I rented the SUV, the Levante, right? Or
Mhm. The
in Florida.
hot breeze.
I hated the fact that the key's on the left-hand side.
That didn't bother me.
But that's a
It doesn't
Porsche
bother
thing,
me.
man. That's a
Yeah, it
Porsche
doesn't bother
thing.
me.
And Porsche did it because in in Le Mans, you race to the car,
Yeah.
and Porsche, being Porsche and methodical, wanted to have the quickest way to get in the car, get the car started, and get out of there, right?
Well,
Instead of having to reach across the steering wheel, you just did it on this side and you were gone. What's
it's
Maserati's excuse?
it's so funny that you say that, because if it was for that, the button would work a lot different. So in my car, when you get in and push the brake, and you know how you push the button once and it's supposed to go through all the cycle and start, it
Mhm.
doesn't do that. It goes to accessory. Then you push the button again and it goes to on, and then you push the button again and it starts.
Oh my god.
Dead serious. And so I had it at the Maserati dealership, and I was like, "Is this normal? Like, is that how it's set up?" And they were like, "No, that's not normal. We need to fix that." They had it for a
Oh, that's
month.
not normal?
It's not normal. It's
Oh, man,
supposed
I
to
was
be you
waiting for you
push
to
the
be
brake and
like the
start
guy
it.
was like, "Oh, yeah, it's normal. Don't worry about it. Just,
It's a normal. It's
it's a
not a
normal."
problem, son. Oh, why is you worried? But yeah, no. So it come to find out that it's got like some kind of like thing on it. Anyways, it's not a problem. It's never let me down. It's always started. If I remote start it and
Eventually.
push the button, it works fine. So that's what I
If
did.
your remote started, push the button.
Free
Cool.
anti-theft, man.
Cool. Yeah, no problem. No problem. I mean, I agree. I think the Maserati is definitely a feeder car, but I still think they're cool. I was talking to my
Yeah,
dad the other day, and he's like, "I've always wanted a red Maserati convertible." I was like, "Dude, they're not. It's not
not that bad.
unattainable.
It's not
It's
unobtainium. Yeah.
yeah, it's not unobtainium. It's a good car."
Yeah.
But back to the Lotus. So, uh, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of electric SUVs or electric cars in general at the moment.
Right.
Um, but my big thing, honestly, with the Lotus car is, and don't get me wrong, 0 to 60 2.9 seconds in an SUV, right? That thing's
Yeah.
gonna hustle. It definitely has a really good, like, futuristic feel on the inside. The materials are nice.
Right.
Um, I actually don't mind the shape of the car for an SUV, like, especially for an electric SUV. They make a lot of them kind of look like a jelly bean sort of thing. This one doesn't look
Right.
like a jelly bean.
That's
I
cool.
like the taillights on it. I mean, it's a good car. We can post a couple pictures I took from the event
Yeah.
there, but my issue with it is not with the car; it's with Lotus. Lotus has so rewind 2021. I got invited to the Lotus launch event for the Emira,
Yeah.
right? I went to it. I saw the car in person. I sat in it, and it didn't feel, I hate to put it this way, it didn't feel special enough.
Yeah. It
And
was
at the time, I didn't have my Aston Martin yet, right?
right.
It didn't feel special enough, and so I passed on an opportunity to put a down payment on the car and order one, right?
Right.
Few months later, I came across the Aston. I got the Aston. I'll never regret that. Best thing that's ever happened to me. I love that car more
Yeah.
than I like most people. uh,
I feel you on that.
but here we are I mean, this recording is happening in February of 2024,
Right.
and they still have not delivered a customer Emira in the US.
There was a blue one at the showroom when I went by there when we hung out the last time. Is
There's
that not
tons
a
of
for
them.
sale car?
No, they're all reserved. They're all spoken for. They have 9 of them up there now.
What?
They can't sell them
Why can't they?
because they haven't passed the California emissions yet.
Oh my
California
god.
hasn't signed off on them. So California and 13 states total, I think it is, or California and 13
Yeah,
states.
everybody's adopting CARB and all these other states. I
Yeah,
think it's
so
ridiculous.
they have a they've got a emission standards that they go by. It passed the EPA standards, but it hasn't passed the
Wow.
California standards yet. Here's the screwed up thing, man. The standards from California are less stringent than they are in Europe. And
Yeah.
the EU already signed off on that car.
This is crazy, man.
But you know what?
California needs to
They're
get put in check, man. They
it's
are out
ridiculous.
of control, man.
And they're screwing the dealership, right? I've
Yeah,
got friends at that dealership. I mean, they've got these cars and they can't sell them.
that's
They're
unreal,
screwing the
man.
dealership.
Yeah, so you're brand manager for Lotus. I feel bad for you because you can't
Yeah.
sell anything they sell right now because
No,
they've
and
discontinued the GT.
there's
So
another uh automotive YouTuber that ordered one and
yeah,
has it sitting at the dealership, and he filmed a video where he went and sat in it and got to, like check it out and everything, but he can't even
right.
drive it.
But now
You
everybody
know,
else is gonna sit in it too. You know what I mean? Like I don't want my car sitting at the dealership waiting
now
on
they'll
me.
lock it. They won't let anybody in it. You'll be
Yeah, that's
fine.
true. I guess
I
that's
mean,
fine.
but I just
It's crazy.
it's insane. But I think what's worse though is that car. We're talking February 24. I
Yeah,
sat in that car at the launch event in 21.
it's
We're talking
unreal,
about
man.
3 years later, and the U.S. customers have not taken delivery of that car, and now you're launching a new car, and oh, by the way, Lotus is going away from petrol engines altogether. What?
Yeah, I I don't
Come
know, man.
on.
A small boutique brands like that, I think it's really not a good idea to get into just the electrical thing, the electric
No,
car thing.
no, and
I
electric
just
cars are not faring well right now.
no,
Hertz
they're
just
not.
got rid of their whole electric fleet.
Can you blame them?
Ford's losing money on every electric vehicle they sell. We're watching manufacturers push their all electric stuff back, multiples of years.
Yeah,
And Rivian just laid off a bunch of people. Electric is not the silver bullet everybody thinks it is.
no,
I like hybrid. I mean, hybrid cars, the P1 is a hybrid, the LaFerrari is a hybrid, the 918 is a hybrid, right? Hybrid takes the electrical power and closes the performance gap in the turbos, and it allows you to access the power quicker and extend the range on a gas motor, right? I mean,
yeah,
if you're
but
gonna if you're
golly,
gonna do
man, like
anything EV related, uh, hybrid's the way to go. Because guess what? Well, this guy's over here sitting at the charging station. I can still run by the gas station and fill up my car. And oh, by the way, I don't have to replace and rip and replace our entire infrastructure to make this work.
yeah, some of it's kind of that. I don't
Not to
know,
mention the
man.
fact that if you're in your Maserati and I'm in my all electric SUV and we get into an accident, my
Yeah,
10,000-pound SUV is going to rip right through that Maserati
yeah. No, it's
all day long.
crazy, man. And that's the other thing. Like, just look at the implications electric cars have had in the past couple of years, and
Yeah.
it's unreal, man. Like they're like, oh, we're gonna go all electric by 2028. Is that right?
Yeah. Great. How? Show me how.
How? I don't see that. I don't see that playing out.
But you know what?
I
That's
actually,
another California thing. This is the same state that
yeah,
that has rolling blackouts in the summer because they don't have the power
yeah,
grid to maintain their current power, and you're going to make everybody buy electric cars. And
yeah.
we talked
Well,
about
like,
this a couple episodes ago. You are forcing like the car enthusiasts. You're pricing them out of the market with the current
yeah,
cars. EV cars are not cheap. They're
no,
expensive.
yeah. Well,
This
I've
just
got
turned into
friends
Rant
that
Street, by the way.
I noticed, but yeah, so I've got friends that have some,
Hmm,
pretty crazy electric cars and stuff, and
great.
cool. I just don't. It's not me.
It
I
doesn't do
don't.
anything for me,
I
man.
don't want it. Yeah, it's not my thing.
Okay,
Um,
so hybrids, right? Let's
I don't
reel it
like it
back
either.
in. Let's reel it back in. Hold on. Hybrids, right? Um, McLaren came out with a hybrid. So I'm
That's
wearing my
her.
McLaren hoodie,
Yeah.
right? McLaren came out with a hybrid years ago called the P1. One
Oh,
of the unicorns, right? They tried to replicate that recently in a more consumer friendly, consumer friendly,
yeah.
air quotes,
Yeah.
more consumer friendly version in the Artura,
Yep.
right? The Artura came out of the box with tons of issues.
Problem after problem after
So the
problem.
Artura does not have a reverse gear. Reverse is handled in the Artura by the electric motor, right? So customers were stating that they would like pull in the garage and the hybrid system would fail and then they couldn't back out.
Oh my god.
So they'd be stuck in the garage, right? There was also reports where it
Can
would
you
go
put it
into
in
limp.
neutral if that
No,
happens?
nope,
No fail safe.
nope. But there were also reports where people were like at a traffic light or at the mall or something, and it would go into limp mode, and basically
Yeah.
they'd have to get towed. Like,
Yeah.
but those were extreme examples. It wasn't like that for all of them, and I think that they got a bad rap right out of the gate.
But didn't they do
Um,
like stop sale after stop sale on this car too?
they did two stop sales. I don't want to
That's
say the
pretty
wrong
bad,
thing.
dude, on a brand new car that you're bringing that's supposed to be the one to save the company. That's pretty rough.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was going to save the company. The 750 came out. 750 was great.
The 750 is a rebadged 720, man.
Kind
It's
of.
it's
It's got
it's
a
not
facelift.
much. It
It's
didn't
got
change.
new.
It
It's
didn't
got new
change enough.
tech on the inside.
If you park those two side by side and told the average person, "Hey, man, which one's the 750 and which one's the 720?" They're not gonna know. We would know,
Um, on
but the
that
average
same
person
on
wouldn't.
that same subject, and I don't want to get too derailed because I still haven't dropped the bomb on the new news.
Yes, yeah.
Um, I was at a car show with a friend of mine who had a Volcano Orange 720,
Okay,
and
that's
some
hot.
guy walked up to us and was like, "Is this the new Corvette?"
Jab.
Burned him so bad, man. He was upset the rest of the day.
I mean, think about it though. You spend $350,000 on a car, and then somebody walks up and compares it to a $120,000 car. I mean, that's you got two ways you can handle that. Like for me, I would be like, "Hey, man, no, it's not. It's not the Corvette. Obviously, it's a McLaren. You can tell by the badge on the front, and these are why." But
And the
some
doors.
people,
Just open the door.
yeah, and open the door and say, "No, it's
Right.
not a kit that you bought on eBay, right?"
Okay. So we'll post a picture.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna show you this. This
Mhm.
is real time happening, right?
Okay. Let me grab my phone.
I just got an email from McLaren.
Okay.
They are announcing performance amplified, the new Artura Spider.
Okay. Just came out. Did I get that email?
So here's the
Must be that.
deal, right? I might get it.
You're gonna get the McLaren Artura
Artura Spider. Yeah,
Why
it's
would you get
because
that?
why would I get it?
Yeah, why would you get it? You got a 600 LT, man. Like that is like some of the pinnacle cars. The LT cars to me are the ones to have. Why
The
would you go
L
from that to
the
that?
LT, the long tail, has a storied history with McLaren. It's
Yeah,
one of the best histories of
sure.
a supercar brand that I can think of.
Yeah.
And I got to see, you were talking about it just a second ago, never meet your heroes, right?
Yeah.
My dream car when I was growing up was a McLaren F1. I had
Okay.
a poster in my room of a yellow a volcano yellow um McLaren F1, and that was
Right.
my dream car. And I don't people could say whatever they wanted about it. They could say, "Oh, it's uncomfortable. You have to wear
Doesn't
headphones
matter.
in it because it's so loud." I didn't care. I
I don't
love
care.
that thing.
Yeah.
The lines on it, the doors on it. I was obsessed with that car in high school, man. I thought
Yeah.
it was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've been to a lot of car events. I've been around the world and seen cars, in Thailand and Europe and all kinds of places.
Right.
And I'd never seen a McLaren F1. And
I mean,
last year at Car Week, they had three.
that's crazy, man.
And the funny part was somebody told me ahead of time. They're like, "Hey, man, there's a McLaren F1 at
Weird.
at at Pebble."
Right.
And I was like, "Oh no," and I was like, "What if I see it in person and it sucks?"
Right. Yeah. That
Like,
would be tough,
man,
man.
what if I see it in person and it just sucks?
Right.
And it oh, it
It
didn't.
didn't.
It didn't.
It
I
didn't suck.
mean, no, and I was afraid it was gonna be one of those never meet your heroes things.
Yeah. So
Oh
the
my god. Hey, if Jay Leno's listening right now and he wants to give me a ride in his McLaren F1, you let me know. I
Hey,
mean,
man, I'll
oh,
take the other seat. There's 3.
there are 3 seats in that car.
Leno, you can drive, man.
Jay's
Just
actually
let us
got a
in.
hilarious story, about being in a McLaren F1 and taking these guys from a car show that had, like, tattoos all over them, and he was afraid they were, like, gang members, and he took them through the mountains and, got pulled over by the cops, and he's like, "Oh my god, we're gonna get in trouble," and it turned out they were undercover police.
Oh, where the
And he's like, "See, that's why you never judge a book, never
Yeah,
judge a book." But
exactly.
no, that was one of my favorite cars. But
Yeah.
you're not wrong. I mean, the McLaren 600 LT is more raw, right?
Well,
But what do you get with a raw car? You
you get
get
the
the creaks and the vibrations and the noises and
well,
it's a race car. It's a go-kart on steroids. It really is,
yeah,
And I don't know if I sent it to you yesterday, but I bought I bought a suction mount camera
you
mount for my
did.
GoPro for
Right,
the back window so that I can see these flames come out of the exhaust when you're driving down the road, right?
right.
I'm dying to see it. I just haven't caught it yet.
Pretty
In
cool.
fact, Derek
Yeah.
was telling me I just got to take it out at night and just downshift it.
Yep.
But uh the Artura, the reason that because I originally ordered one.
Right.
I originally ordered one. The reason that I originally ordered that car was it was still a McLaren, still had McLaren doors, which for some reason Lambo only does on their
High
like
end or
their
Aventador or
well, they're
the
like their exotics, like their specialist series, right?
yeah,
So the Aventador, the new one that's coming out, the
yeah,
Revuelto, right? They all have Lambo doors, but like the STO and the
yeah,
Evo and all that have
regular
doors.
doors.
Yeah, regular doors.
Yeah,
But
it's that's been my argument for Jessica with the McLaren. It's like, I can get a 600 LT or a 570 even and
you can get my
be
600 LT. It might be for
that's
sale.
look, man, when you get the Atura, holler at me. Because if I can financially fit it into the budget, baby, we're gonna make it happen.
I honestly think that with the Artura, it's my same argument for the
Right.
new Aston Martin Vantage, right?
Right.
We had this conversation a couple episodes ago. Would I get the new Vantage? For me, it's a little bit different when it comes to the Vantage because the Vantage was my first, proper like
Right.
exotic, right? And you can debate whether or not that's a supercar in the comments, but that was my first exotic car, and
Yeah.
and I grew up watching James Bond, and I had a passion for the brand, before I had the ability to own one, and I just love this car, man. I love the color. I love the way it makes me feel when I drive it. I love the sound of it. I like
Right.
the look of it, and it gets so much attention. And in fact, so yesterday when we were out, it was me and two of my friends in all LT McLarens, a 675 LT and another 600 LT, and
Right.
we all went out driving around. We met up for lunch, and we're like, let's go take a picture of the 3 cars together. We don't have any pictures together, so we went on top of this parking deck. We took some epic pictures.
Yeah, they
One
were
of my
cool.
friends is like a photographic genius. I mean, the guy's just, taking all these different, he's like, move this car up 6 inches,
Yeah.
turn it this way. And so we got some really good shots. But this guy came down and car guy, right?
Yeah.
Perfect car guy. He was in his apartment, looked out the window and saw us on top of the
Just
parking
went
deck,
giddy, man.
ran down the stairs and met us on top of the parking. He's like, hey, I hope I'm not bothering you guys. Is it cool? He's like, I just want
Yeah.
to see the cars. And I'm like, yes, come on, come see them,
Yeah.
check them out. I'll answer any questions you have.
That's
People
awesome,
that want to
dude.
talk to me about cars, man, I'll talk to you about cars. I
Yeah.
mean, that's something I'm passionate about. I love it.
I think that's
And
both of us.
dude, I love when people love it, you
Yeah.
know? But it was funny because he was like, he was a big Ferrari fan. And
Right.
he's like, man, I love Ferraris. My dream car would be a Ferrari. He's like, I want a Ferrari 458. I was like, it's an awesome car.
Sick
And
car. Yeah.
he goes, if I didn't have a Ferrari, I'd get an Aston Martin. And I was like, oh, I've got an Aston. And he goes, man, if I had an Aston, I'd wear a suit every day.
Every day.
But it's that
Yeah.
classy car, you
Yep.
know, and it's just I've
It's an
got
easily approachable car too, though.
it is, but I've
know,
got
where
and you to a certain point too, right? Because you've got the DB11,
Yeah.
but it's the AMR, and
Yeah.
it's just this like
It's that next level.
but it's an edgy spin on a really classy car, right?
Yep.
And that's kind of what mine is, right? Mine's got
Yep.
the graphics, it's got the wing, it's got the louvers and all that stuff. And it's a really cool setup.
Yeah.
But, you know, not to get too off track, the whole reason that I wouldn't be like chomping at the bit to get the new one's over 100 horsepower more than like 150 horsepower more than my car, right? The new one is bigger turbos, bigger front grille. I mean, you know, really redone headlights, redone. I mean, it's a beautiful car, and they built it to go after Porsche and the other ones that are out
But
there.
that's
right?
what every car manufacturer is going after, right? I mean, Porsche sets the standard currently.
They do, but some people just don't. Lamborghini doesn't care. Lamborghini knows that they're just going to go out there and smash it, right?
Yeah.
You know? But I mean, for me, the one thing that I would change about my Aston is the interior.
The interior, yeah,
100%.
And you know, but it doesn't really bother me, man. Like the Corvette, like I said, the tech and all that is great.
I get it.
Doesn't bother me. And but I will say the it's going to date pretty badly, and I'm hoping somebody makes a retrofit kit to, you know, upgrade the screen in it to make it look better in the future.
So you can't upgrade the screen, but they do have a retrofit to give you CarPlay in it.
Yeah,
you can do that today.
Yeah, I mean, I need Android Auto because you know I like to turn your text screen.
We will fix that. No, I mean, so yeah, that would be the only reason I'd even consider getting the new Aston. Like I said in the previous episode, you know, for me, I'd really want to have a special edition, you know, like an F1 or an AMR or something special edition to make me want to get that car because I like stuff that's unique, you know?
So a year after launch, they come out with the new Vantage F1. You making the move?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you.
Maybe.
So,
I mean,
I'm in that weird spot where I've kind of been staring at the DBSs a lot after getting the AMR, and I just
the
love
DBS
the way the DBS looks.
The DBS is an amazing car, and right now you can get a DBS for
180
less than you can get a DB12 easily.
Yeah,
half of what you can get a DB12 for, right?
And I'll be honest, I'd rather have the DBS.
Yeah, because it's a V12.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
I don't want a V8 Aston Martin personally, but
you better shut your mouth.
No offense, man, but I mean, I think Aston Martin's known for the V12s. That's why you buy an Aston Martin.
No, that's not necessarily true. They've had V8s in those cars for a long time.
Look, the Vantage V8, but the Vantage V12 though.
No, I get it, but the Vantage V12 isn't the 0-60 time isn't better than my car.
I don't care.
You just want to say V12.
Yeah, I want the
you
V12,
want to sit at the traffic light and just watch your fuel gauge go.
I don't mind. That's fine. I didn't buy this thing for fuel economy. I bought it for miles per gallon, not miles per gallon, sir.
That's right.
You want miles per gallon, man? You get you an electric SUV.
Oh my God! Stop. I will tell you though. My mom calls me all the time, and she's always like, "Hey, you know, such and such gas station has gas for $2.39 a gallon or whatever." And I'm like, "Mom, I haven't bought regular fuel in like 15 years.
I don't even look at it anymore, man.
I can't. You can't.
I don't even look at it.
What difference does it make?
It's not going to change anything. I've got to put fuel in it to get where I'm going.
Yeah, you have to do it. I mean, you're not gonna go to
I think the government's figured that out. They're like, oh, he's just gonna fill it up. They don't care.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. You know what really hurt when I had my Roush SUV and would have to go to 2 different gas pumps to fill it up all the way.
So I want to
really hurt.
like a TRX for my truck.
No, you don't.
I do.
Why? So you can get 1 mile to the gallon downhill with a tailwind?
That's the only thing. Like my Ram, the
Oh,
inside sitting in my Ram and sitting in a TRX, it doesn't feel that much different.
it's not.
And
It's not that much different. And
I
on
can at
top of
least make a
that,
trip to Atlanta and not have to take a loan out to get there
yeah,
and
you'd
back.
have to take a loan out to get there. And then the other issue is, that truck's four-wheel only. There's
Yeah.
not a two-wheel. You don't have a button to put it in two-wheel.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
four-wheel high, four-wheel low, four-wheel auto
Still
only.
cool.
But that's why it uses so much gas.
Yeah. But I mean,
But I mean, and I mean, I know
supercharged
you're a Ram
line.
guy, but
Yeah.
pound for pound, I'd rather have the Raptor R.
Everybody would rather have the Raptor R, but me,
It's an
I guess.
awesome truck, man.
I like the Rams, dude. They've been good
Oh,
trucks.
the
This is my
Raptor R.
third Ram in my driveway now.
I hear you. We all make
But
mistakes. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I've had a few F-150s in a row, but it was just because I really liked the look of the truck and that sort of
Right.
thing. But for the longest time, I loved the exterior of the Chevy Silverados and the GMC, but the interior was so dated.
So
The interior on those cars felt like it was from like 1990. They finally updated them and they're really awesome right now.
Yeah, I've seen the inside of the new one and it's good job, Chevy. I mean, but
Yeah, but you and I have to go in together and take turns driving it because that
we
sucker's
talked about the
$100
price
grand.
of cars and all that stuff lately, and
Jesus.
it blows my mind. I will say the used market's starting to come down, but if interest rates are so high, nobody can buy them. I mean, a buddy of mine wanted to buy the Audi that I fixed up. We looked at loans for him because he wants to pay for it with a loan. 10% interest rate on a 2013 car.
Didn't
Perfect credit.
Didn't your wife tell me that the 10's not unusual
Not unheard
right
of.
now?
On home loans, it's like 7% right now. This is ridiculous, man.
I remember when 10% used to be like subpar, buy here, pay here lot credit.
Yeah, yeah. And now it's 10% excellent credit.
One of the worst things I ever did was get rid of so I got this is 2 years ago. First edition Bronco. Right? First edition Bronco two-door. I got the two-door because that was the way it came. Like you wanted the two-door. Like that's how I knew the original Bronco. Yeah. Going back, I wish I had gotten a four-door. If I'd gotten a four-door, I probably still would have had that car today.
Yeah.
The four-door is more practical, especially having a kid. It's more practical just in general.
Just makes more sense.
It does, but the two-door was just such a good looking car, and I got it in cyber orange. I will say that the orange, when it was delivered, was lighter than it was in the ad pictures. I thought it was gonna be like a dark orange, and it was more like a school bus orange.
Ooh.
Or a school bus yellow kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I had 0.9% on that car.
That's actually pretty good.
I don't know that you're ever going to go back to a time when we do had 0.9,
I don't think so, man. If it is, it's like an introductory rake to get in the car and it's something you don't want. That's how they usually do it.
I'd like to see us kind of get back to, at the bare minimum, car prices aren't necessarily going to come down. I think that, if interest rates can start to come back down and people can start to get back into cars, I think that's positive.
I think car prices have got to come down and interest rates need to come down. I mean, you're looking at cars like, for instance, a Lamborghini 570, or I'm sorry, a Lamborghini 580-2.
All over the place.
Yeah, the price is crazy, man, and still up in the twos. At one point in 2019, you could have bought that same car, and it was only a few years old for like 150.
Dude,
now it's 220.
Don't even get me started.
Unreal, man.
One of my favorite cars of all time, and I know that there's maybe somebody listening to this that's going to give me a hard time because I don't already own one. But one of my favorite cars of all time is the Ferrari 458.
Yeah,
love that car. I rented one in California. My friend and I drove it in California. It was awesome. One of the most, electric engines. Just not electric as in the power, but in the way it makes you feel. Right. I mean,
it was alive.
Just made you feel alive. Unbelievable car. Right. And, and that was one of those ones where you can look past the sticky buttons. You can look past the old tech in it and it just was an amazing car to drive.
Yeah.
Fast forward last year, my dad and I took like a once in a lifetime father son trip to Dubai, and I raced a 458 was it the 458
Speciale or whatever.
Speciale, I think it was,
Or
on the track on the Autodrome. And
Nice.
oh my God, what an awesome car. What an
Yeah.
awesome car to drive, right? I mean, I love that car. But prior to 2020, that car, you could have got a low mileage, and I'm talking 5,000 and below miles, right? On a 458 for 150 grand all day long, every day of the week, in Ferrari red, with black leather, with tan leather, mint condition, doesn't matter what it is. You could have got it all day. You could have got a Spider for like 170, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now they want 250, 260 grand for a 25,000 mile, 458. What? Why?
But when we went to the Ferrari dealership, how many did they have just sitting there?
They had 2, but they were sold.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Most of the cars were sold. I don't know, man. Where are these people getting all this money, man? It's unreal, dude. Like, to buy the car, and I feel like the prices are still way overinflated, personally.
They are.
But
I don't know if I told you. I saw a couple weeks ago, there was a guy at one of the dealerships up here. His license plate said over MSRP. I was like, dude, that's not a brag.
That's not a brag, dude. Like,
that's not
good luck.
If you're a salesperson and you're selling them over MSRP, maybe that's a brag. But now I don't like you.
Yeah.
So and speaking of that, I just watched a top 10 list of cars that are still getting over MSRP. Right? What's on that list? Mostly Porsches.
Yeah.
The Porsche Cayenne, the Porsche Macan, the Porsche 911, the Porsche Cayman, right?
Yeah.
But you know what the number one car, this is percentage wise, not dollar wise, right? Do you know what the number one car on that list that is getting over MSRP was?
Probably Z06, if I had to guess.
Nope. Percentage wise.
No, I don't know. It maybe GT3s.
Nope.
Something like that. Well, tell
Mini
me what it is.
hardtop.
The Mini hardtop. People are paying him over MSRP from. I'll tell you, the Mini crowd's crazy.
Fine.
They're crazy, man.
For anybody listening to this podcast, don't pay. Let's all band together and not pay over MSRP for cars.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Whatever happened to the days when you could walk into a dealership and be like, I'm not even paying list price for this car. Nobody pays suggested manufacturer price.
I don't mind. Here's the thing. I don't mind the MSRP thing if the car's worth that in a year or 2 years or 3 years. When it's about to be out of warranty and I can sell it and I paid MSRP, cool. You know what I'm saying?
What determines that?
But it seems like, I don't know. The market's changing daily, man.
That's my problem, right? We talked about this.
Now.
We talked about this a while ago, right? It's hard to project cars that are going to do really well, right?
Yeah.
Some people thought that certain cars were going to do really well and they were just turds, right?
Yeah.
And then like the Bronco, right? The Bronco came out, a first edition 2-door was like 59 grand, right?
Yeah.
They were selling at auction at Barrett Jackson for $120,000.
Yeah.
What?
Wild, that's unreal. But that's like the people paying $250,000 for a Corvette, man. I couldn't do it.
I'm telling you,
car's cool, man. Don't get me wrong, it's cool, but it ain't $250,000.
And this is not exclusive to Corvette. Yeah. I'm not paying $200,000 for a Mustang.
No,
I'm not paying $200,000 for a Camaro.
Yeah,
I'm not paying $200,000 for a lot. I'm not paying $100,000 for a Maserati. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
because they don't hold their value. You know what I'm saying?
That's like the MC20 that come out. Gorgeous car, super cool. If they'd put the V8 in it, maybe I'd like it better. But the Nitro V6,
I struggle with that car because it gets a lot of hate. A lot of people don't like that car.
But
I
10
like
years
that
down the road,
car.
That car's gonna be super cool for a lot less money.
I like that car, and if I could get it for mid ones,
under 100,
oh,
under 100.
You're trying to be in I-8 territory.
I'm in, baby. Let's go. Yeah,
you're trying to be in I-8 territory.
Look, now,
I mean, I don't know, man. For 220, 230. And you know, when they came out, people were getting 300 for them because they were getting over MSRP.
Dude, I remember that dude.
That's insane. I just can't. So the moral of the story today, I know we talked about a lot of things. I know we've kind of
All
gone
over the
down
place.
rant street again as usual. We
a lot of edit coming our way.
We should get rid of 2CarGuys and just call this rant street.
Yeah. Welcome to Conversation Street.
One of my favorite shows of all time.
Yes.
So I mean, the moral of the story of today, right? I know we talked about a couple car launches, which are cool and everything, but yeah, let's band together as a car community and not pay over MSRP. Let's stop paying these inflated prices on these cars because they're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah, I agree. Let's do that.
Terrible.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Once again, wonderful that we have the opportunity to do this. I love talking with John. I'd love to start seeing some comments in there and tell us, what we should be talking about. If there's a car out there you want us to talk about, John and I might have the opportunity coming up here to start reviewing some cars in real life and showing them to you and kind of giving our honest feedback on those cars. Yeah. So more to come there. But as always, we're 2CarGuys. I'm Adam.
I'm John, and hit that share button, and let's go. Let's keep this thing going.